Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. A sold-out concert in Warsaw turned into a diplomatic flashpoint after a spectator displayed the red and black flag of the Ukrainian Insurgent Army, for many Poles a symbol of the World War II Volhynia massacres. The incident sparked clashes over 100 arrests and plans to expel dozens of Ukrainians and Belarusians from Poland. Authorities call it a Russian provocation. Others see a tragic misunderstanding. With Polish-Ukrainian ties under strain, we ask Rafał Pankowski, co-founder of Never Again Association and a professor at Collegium Civitas University Warsaw and a Rotary Peace Fellow at Makerere University Kampala. Can history and solidarity coexist in wartime? Welcome, Professor, to TVP World, and thank you for taking the time.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, let's start with an overview. What is it about this red and black flag that caused such emotions to arise?
Well, you see clearly for a long time now, there is a difference, a contrast in terms of historical and cultural sensitivity in Poland and in Ukraine vis-a-vis certain types of symbolism going back to World War II and the Ukrainian nationalism of the 1930s and the 40s. In Poland, these kind of symbols is often associated with fascism and genocide. On the other hand, in Ukraine, this kind of symbolism is often perceived as a symbol of national liberation movements. So this contrast is very real, and of course it comes to the fore, especially when many Ukrainians come and live in Poland, and somehow that has to be resolved one way or another.
Okay, now I know we do have a soundbite, a reaction of Prime Minister Tusk, and that's coming up in just a second. But he calls it a Russian provocation. What do you think of his message there? Do you think it's a Russian provocation?
Well, I'm not sure really. To be honest, I think the far right in Poland and in Ukraine, for not just years but decades, has actually worked to incite antagonism and hatred between Poles and Ukrainians, which objectively is in the interest of Putin's Russia. So it doesn't have to be, a literal agent of Putin's Russia to do the work of Putin's Russia.
Okay,
so to say.
Let's listen to what he actually said, and then I'll get your view on those impressions.
I have just received information that proceedings have been initiated against 63 individuals who will be required to leave the country, either voluntarily or by force. Among them are 57 Ukrainians and 6 Belarusians. The courts acted swiftly, and in cases involving offences or crimes, appropriate penalties were imposed. I thank all the services for their prompt response. This situation is somewhat similar to what we face at the Polish border. It is the role of the state to act decisively and effectively, to prevent or punish all offenders regardless of nationality. The law must be upheld. Under no circumstances, and I say this with full conviction, in the interest of Poland's security, can we allow anti-Ukrainian sentiment to take root. Likewise, Ukrainian authorities must not permit any anti-Polish gestures.
Right, your thoughts on what the Prime Minister has just said?
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, on the one hand, I understand why public opinion in Poland is concerned about the displays of extreme nationalist symbols coming from Ukraine. On the other hand, I really wish, as a Polish citizen and someone who has been documenting those issues for many years, I really wish for the Polish authorities to be also, very, very strict when it comes to the implementation of the existing hate speech laws, when it comes to displays of Polish far-right nationalist and racist symbolism, also in the context of football stadiums. In many cases, these are displays of anti-Ukrainian hatred. Which I'm afraid the police and other institutions have not been treating adequately, despite the laws are also applicable. So I think what we are dealing with in Poland is is a certain type of competition between different political formations, especially on the right wing, competing on who is more radically anti-foreign, anti-Ukrainian or anti-refugee. And I think in many cases the bigger picture of the Polish-Ukrainian relations and solidarity suffers.
Okay, now you've explained why there is this tension between Ukraine and Poland going back to the Second World War, but there were Belarusians involved in this. Does that surprise you?
Well, actually, you see, I think what is the big story and the big message of that concert is the fact that thousands and thousands of young Belarusians, Ukrainians, Poles, Russian speakers, also probably Russian exiles, they came together at the concert with an anti-Putin, anti-war message. And I think this is wonderful. And this is something that somehow we overlook, just focusing on the incident with one banner, as unfortunate as it is. So I think it's remarkable that there are hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees in Poland, but there are also tens of thousands of Belarusian political refugees in Poland, and there are also Russian anti-war exiles in Poland today, and this is the kind of diaspora that I think we should cherish, we should be proud of, and these are precisely the people who can pose a meaningful challenge to the fascist dictatorship in Moscow.
Understood. Now, we just got about a minute left, so a quick answer, if you would, please. Now, many human rights organizations say that, people shouldn't be sent back to countries which are at war, but that's exactly what the Polish government seems to be doing. Your comments?
I think as a society here in Poland, we were correctly proud. We have been proud of the solidarity with the Ukrainians who came to Poland fleeing war, and unfortunately, the same kind of solidarity is not often extended to other refugees from other war-torn countries. So I think from the human rights perspective, we have a lot of work to do still, right, to face up to the fact that Poland is a country that used to be a country of migrants and refugees.
Understood.
Ourselves.
Unfortunately, Professor, we're going to have to end it there, but thank you very much for laying that out for us. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away. As always, lots more coming up. Bye-bye.